Welcome back to Pilot Boys, where we review a pilot, which is the first episode of a television show. My name is Santos.
And my name is Caesar.
What's up, buddy?
Howdy. How you doing?
So in the last episode...
Previously
on Pilot Boys.
You know, we should play catch-up. We haven't actually talked in a while. So, usually, we used to ask what you've been watching.
Is this the 0.5 episode where we catch up on each other's lives?
Nah. So, what have you been watching? I guess I'll start. I finally caught up with My Hero.
Academia.
Yikes, bitch. Shit was popping.
That last episode? Oh.
I also finished Devilman Crybaby, the Netflix anime. I liked it. I just thought that it kind of waned a little bit. Like, it was good, and then it kind of went through this, like, we're just gonna make it like a...
repetitive bullshit.
Not even repetitive, because it's so short.
I thought it was.
But it's more like, it just became a little cheesy to me. Like, all of a sudden, he's, like, gonna protect humans?
Yeah.
That moralizing story where, like, he's a hero now was weird to me. Like, it just didn't really fit the theme. Because from the first episode, which is, by the way, is an amazing pilot.
Right?
It was so good. It's like Insanity. If they had stuck to that, where, like, it was just, like, depraved shit, I would have loved it. But then it just became, like, this story about, like, a kind of hero. And I was like, I expected more... something more in line with the first episode.
Shout out to that one episode, though, with the long-ass rap.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck was that? I don't know how I felt about that.
I like the beatboxes when they were doing it in Japanese. I think it was good. And a lot of people were calling it a masterpiece. I don't really agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's different, and I'll give credit where credit is due. I haven't really seen much like it before, but it has a lot of flaws.
Yeah, I think so too.
But after watching it, I can see the inspiration for future shows.
Yeah, I mean, I dug it. There was a lot to like there, I think.
It was. And the dub wasn't bad. I like the dub too.
No, the dub was pretty good.
Oh,
but yeah, I also just watched The Incredibles, and I also watched Ocean's 8.
I heard that was amazing.
Incredibles?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was so good.
I was so happy to read the good reviews.
You should have went with me. It was so good. We went to the one on Pacific. It was $5.
Pacific.
Yeah, I don't like Pacific, but it was $5, and I mean the theater's not that bad.
I'm Gucci. I'm cool with that. Yeah.
It was just a lot of fucking chamaco, but it was really good. There's so much that happens in the movie. Like, in terms of just being a movie, it's pretty straightforward. It's a simple superhero movie. It is a little bit predictable, but the messages in the movie, like the underlying messages, there's a lot. And I'm going to write a review about it.
No spoilers for that one.
Yeah, I won't spoil it.
Yeah, I heard like nothing but good things on the internet.
Yeah.
I saw IGN give it like almost a 10. And I was like, it's just IGN.
Yeah, they always do that.
Yeah, but then I saw like other people giving it almost a 10, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta watch it. And I just recently saw the first one too.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah, it is. It's cool.
Anyway, and then the last thing I watched before that was Oceans, which I really liked. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a really fun movie.
Okay.
I'm kind of a sucker for heist movies.
Are you?
Yeah, I really liked the original Oceans. I liked all three of them a lot. And this one was very... I mean, it's the same formula. Like, you think you know just what's happening, but then at the end of it, they reveal it to be another way. But it's just fun. It was a cool little summer movie.
Quítame la duda de algo.
What?
Is it called Ocean's 8 because there's 8 of them?
Yeah, that's why they're always called like 11, 12, and 13.
I never seen those movies.
Really?
Yeah, I never seen them.
They're so fun. They're like really fun movies. Yeah, I really love those movies.
Oh, okay.
But everyone was good in it. My only gripe with it was that I wish some of the side characters had bigger parts. Like, Rihanna was cool. Mindy Kaling was good, but she was really underused. And then the Asian girl, her name's Aquafina. She was great, but, like, she had, like, no speaking part. Like, she was like, really underused. But Anne Hathaway was fucking great. Even Sandra Bullock was good, and I don't even like her. What's up with you?
I'm on season 3 now of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, you've been, like, watching that for a while. How many episodes is that?
That shit is 100 and something. I'm on, like, 60 something.
It's dubbed?
It is, but I was watching it subbed.
Yes, so?
because Crunchyroll doesn't have it in English, and the provider that they don't have a streaming thing.
Oh, so you got to do it like illegals.
And right here on the Pilot Boy podcast, we only do things the legal way. So,
anything else?
Nah, nothing else.
Nothing.
Nah, not really. Sports, Mexico, yeah, them.
Hashtag Nora Penal.
Hashtag El Tree.
Hashtag Nora Pino.
Damn, bro, that shit was wild.
What does El Tri mean? Like the band?
I don't know what the fuck that means either. I'm just like, yeah, El Tree.
El Tree.
El Tree.
Yeah, hashtag the tree.
Are your parents into the soccer's?
Nah, not really. My mom swears she's a bean, but like, she's been here longer than she's been over there. High key, she's like, her president is Donald Trump, honestly.
Yeah, my mom almost cried. That was fun.
Your mom would.
Yeah, I'm just like, really, dog?
Your mom's like super paisa.
Yeah, but like everyone like was crying.
Yeah, I don't really get it, honestly.
It's not even that because I get sports, but I'm like, y'all won one game. Like,
oh, it's not over.
No, the fuck? This is just the first game.
Oh. I thought it was it. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. I guess they won. Like,
no. Nah, dog.
So people were just wilding for one fucking win?
This is their first game of the tournament thing or whatever.
¿Y cuántos son? How many are there?
Well, first they have to get out of the group. So all the teams, they're made up into groups of 4.
Mm.
And I think the one with the most points advanced to the main like tournament.
Mm.
So with this win, they got 3 points.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And if you tie, you only get 1 point. And if you lose, it's nothing.
This is dumb as shit, honestly.
Yeah, so they played 2 other times, but I don't know if I don't really do soccer, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
But they kind of a little bit secured like their spot.
Yeah.
Because they're the only ones in their bracket to have 3 points.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mexico. Fireworks at 10 in the morning. That was...
Oh my god. Se pasan de verga, dude.
Did you see all the little videos on Twitter on HP?
No, I didn't.
That shit Pacific was wild, bro.
Shit was wildin'? Good thing I didn't go today. I went yesterday.
That shit was crazy.
That shit was still wild, though. Loads.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get to this goodie.
Oh. First impressions. What'd you think? Wait, alright. So today we're doing Succession, which is the new HBO show.
Newly acquired HBO.
Oh, it was already pre-made.
No, freaking HBO was just acquired.
By whomst?
AT&T.
Really? I did not know that.
So AT&T bought the parent company,
which is
of HBO, Time Warner.
Oh, yeah.
Which is essentially WB.
Yeah.
And the thing was confirmed this week.
Yes. So we're doing Succession today, which is HBO's new show created by Jesse Armstrong. And the first episode is directed by Adam McKay, who just came off of Big Short fame. He did The Big Short, which is one of his first movies to be like a more serious director. Because he was one of those like Will Ferrell guys, or like he directed his movies. Like he did The Other Guys and like Anchorman and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Let me guess. He started in Saturday Night Live too.
He probably is. So there's like different schools of like comedy. That's another like conversation. Yeah, so he directed this episode. And I thought he was going to direct more, but he just did this one. And Will Ferrell's also a producer. But in terms of like first impressions, what do you think?
I liked it a lot.
Really?
Like one of the first scenes, I was like, oh, I'm gonna like this shit.
What?
I really dug the scene where he's in the costume.
Oh, yeah.
The dark colors, the close up into his face.
Yeah.
And like the kids jumping him. I was like, oh, I dig this. Honestly, as I was watching this, I was just like, this just looks like one of those dumb CW shows done right.
Yeah, I got a little bit of sense of that.
Like the rich people's and rich people problems.
To me, it felt like kind of one of those shows, but like an explicit version. Like where they're allowed to cuss and like be fucking raunchy. But I don't know, like I didn't necessarily like love it. I thought it was cool, but I didn't like, it didn't leave a huge impression on me. Something about the camera work that
Oh, okay.
made it feel weird to me. Like there was a lot of
Did you think there was a lot of zooming?
yeah, like the zoom shots were weird to me.
That's a big con. Yeah.
I didn't really dig that. That was in the trailers too of the first episode or like the series or whatever.
They didn't know how to use that right.
It felt very like I was watching The Office.
Mm.
Like when they zoom into Jim's face and like they get like a reaction shot.
Okay.
And I like the fights between like the sibling rivalries or like
The low tension.
yeah, I like that. That was cool. But I don't know if I enjoyed it and I'm interested to watch it because I usually watch HBO shows. But I just don't think the subject matter is super interesting. But yeah, that's just first impressions. All right, let's do the recap real quick. So the first episode, we get introduced to the Roy family, who's like this massively rich. They own like
Successful.
yeah, they have like $1 billion company, and the dad is shown to have some kind of illness, and then we get introduced to the different siblings in the Roy family. Kendall is like soon to inherit the company. Shiv is the daughter.
Worst one.
You think so?
I didn't get nothing from her.
Okay, so we get introduced to Kendall, and then after that, there is a dinner party for
The dad's birthday.
yeah, the dad Logan. It's his birthday, and they're just gonna like celebrate his life. But after he's introduced with his illness, he wants to give his board seat in the event of his death to his new wife, and then they start bickering about whether or not they're gonna assign his new decision. And by the end of the episode, Logan has like an attack, like he gets like a brain hemorrhage, and then that's the end of the episode. Yeah, I think the premise is gonna be about succession and how they want to stay rich from their dad's company without him really being there. I mean, the show is just about like rich people and how they operate. It's like
It's pretty basic.
yeah,
Basically, everyone is in it for themselves and everyone's sus.
yeah. Everyone's like amoral characters. They're all pieces of shit. Like they only care about themselves.
They're basic white rich people problems with bullshit.
I think every character is kind of unlikable. I don't really like any character.
There was an MVP of the show, and I think you know who I'm talking about.
McCulkin?
Oh yeah, he was great, bro. I laughed in like almost every scene of his.
Roman.
Yeah, Roman. At first, I thought it was Home Alone.
No, that's not him. It's his brother, or it's one of his like siblings.
Yeah, it is his brother. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Kieran Culkin. He was in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, he was.
He was Scott Pilgrim's roommate, the gay one. Yeah, he's cool. I like him. But he was like a total piece of shit.
Dude, come on. He was hilarious.
Yeah, I think one of the things the show does well is they introduce all the characters to be their own people kind of thing. I think you're right about Shiv, where like you don't really get much, but for Kendall, you understand that he's someone who's like super dedicated to like owning the company. For Roman, you understand that he's kind of like the black sheep, and he's pretending like he wants nothing to do with the company, but he actually wants to get back in.
They confirmed Shiv left the company, right?
Well, yeah, the dad wants her back.
She's trying to do her own thing, but that's in like another undermining, like little plot line they're doing.
Yeah, and then Connor, you get absolutely nothing with Connor.
Yeah.
I think that was on purpose, right? Like, he doesn't want anything.
Yeah, like he's more worried about the dad.
He's kind of like the only character who isn't a piece of shit.
We don't know that yet.
Well, just based on the first episode, but maybe it's to the credit of the show, is he seems to not be a piece of shit. But he also seems to be like the most sane character. But because of that, because he is in the show, he kind of seems like the most boring character. And I think that's the show telling us, like, yeah, this guy's like alright, but aren't these people way more interesting? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Shiv was definitely the worst.
Yeah, Shiv is like, she's married and there's just not much there to work with her.
You know who else didn't give me much either?
Who?
The stepmom. Marcy?
Yeah, I don't think they've established anything. She's not really much of a character.
All they did was establish for her was that she's sus. Because she creeps up on them in one of the scenes when they're having a serious conversation.
Yeah, see, so I'm trying to figure out, Marsha is Logan, which is the dad, the owner of the company. That's his new wife. and she's presented by the Roy siblings to be someone who's just wants to take over their dad's company or like to suck them dry for everything. But I'm wondering if they think that because they're so greedy and they want it for themselves, and she's actually just like a good person who wants to help their father, or if she's actually just like sus. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure she's sus.
I don't know.
I think everyone is sus.
Yeah. See, so I think, and this is getting into let's just start getting into the things, but I think that the reason why they're such like shitty characters is because they inherited that from their dad, and to stay in that point, like their inheritance, the fact that they're inherited so much money makes them shitty. Like they've had everything in their life. They're so entitled to everything that they don't need to be like decent people. Like everything was just given to them. They didn't ever really have to work to get things. So they just become like really shitty people. So I think the fact that Logan is trying to like enact change so that his company stays afloat, like his company stays the way that he built it. I think that that's him, well, one, having like an end life crisis because he realizes that like he doesn't have much time on this earth. He needs to secure what he's built. But I also think that that anxiety goes back to the fact that like he didn't raise good children, he didn't raise good people because he raised them, because he was never there for them, because the only thing that he cared about was his fortune. The only thing he cared about was his company.
I do think eventually Kendall will probably not be a piece of shit. He was more devoted. He was more devoted than anything.
I think you're addressing is the one where he's like, you gotta have the bigger dick or whatever.
But they also confirmed he has some type of mental illness.
Who?
Him.
Kendall? When he has a breakdown?
Yeah, and his dad makes fun of him for being in rehab for 3 years. Or 3 years ago, before that. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna establish him as like the root for him.
I don't know if that's a mental illness. The disease is drug addiction. Like he was a drug addict because his ex-wife is like, I know that this guy won't come back home and leave. He's a recovering addict and he's left that life behind, and he's trying to be a better person, but no one really trusts him to do it, kind of thing. I don't think it's necessarily that he has a mental illness, like he can't function well. I just think that he's fucked things up in his life in the past, and now that he's trying to redeem himself, they're not giving him a shot because he fucked things up in the past.
Well, he fucked things up in the first scene, no? With the acquisition of that company.
Well, yeah, but I think that's more... I can't necessarily say that's his fault, but to his dad, that seems like his fault. So when we get introduced to Kendall, he has to put in this bid to this... It's another media company, which I think, from what I gathered from the first episode, the company that they own is a media company, right?
Yeah, it's like they're like everywhere.
Yeah, so the company that he's going to put a bid in to acquire backs out. And before he backs out, the owner or the head of that company kind of insults him. And he's just like, yeah, like you're so entitled and you can't do anything. It's all your dad or whatever. And he doesn't really attack him back. And instead, he decides to like up his bid. And his dad gets wind of that. And he has an altercation with his dad. Which this leads into another big theme that I want to talk about, which is like the way masculinity is displayed in the show. Obviously, this is a huge part of corporate culture, but also just like their family history. So Logan's way of running the company was always about masculinity. And I think that was part of like how he controlled things, but I think that's also just like a character trait. So we first get introduced to the way masculinity it doesn't play a big role in the current state, because Kendall wasn't like trying to have like a dick measuring contest with the owner of the company he was trying to acquire, and instead he just ups the bid because he thinks that's a little more diplomatic. It's not as like showy. But once his dad gets wind of that, once Logan finds out that Kendall essentially like let him drive up the price, he starts telling him that like, you have to engage in this dick showing contest. And he basically like emasculates him. Like he tells him like, you're a little girl, like, are you gonna cry? And he gets up in his face. And I thought that was one of the best scenes because it tells the audience that they have a history of this and that Kendall has a hard time dealing with it. Like, he wants to physically attack his father and he wants to like take over, and he wants to like hurt him, but he can't because he knows that his dad, one, has given him everything, and he could also take it away. Like, he could cut him out so easily. And that scene shows that masculinity as it is for their family has kind of like ruined relationships in a lot of ways, or like it's scarred relationships. Like, there's a lot of scars in the way that little showdown that they had where they confronted each other. There's a lot of scars there, and it's usually because of like toxic masculinity.
Very, very toxic.
And then like the difference is Logan's rage is very calculated and like cold, and Kendall knows that he can't like lash out because his dad don't even give a shit because his dad is so removed. He's such a like amoral person that the only time he really shows that he's like pissed off is when he goes to the restroom and he has like a breakdown. Like, he starts like breaking shit and like throwing shit around, but then he cleans it up, which I thought was interesting.
I laughed.
What do you think that's trying to say?
Honestly, it sounds like he's heard the words "I love you" from his father like once.
Yeah, but I also think that the fact that he cleaned it up was like he was ashamed that he let his anger out. Like, he's like, I made this mess, I'm gonna clean it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of random.
Yeah. Logan, I thought, I wouldn't say he was the most interesting character, but I was really interested in him.
He's just such a piece of shit.
He was being a prick, but he was being a dick, like, in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And so was Roman.
Yeah.
I feel like Roman, like, I don't want to say looks up to Logan, but he looks up to his, like, dickish behavior.
It's definitely obvious that Logan's favorite kid is Roman, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that was his favorite. Like, he loved him, and he's like, I want you back in the company, and like, whatever you need, I'll do for you. So much so that, like, that leads to Logan firing someone who was there for 30 years.
Oh, yeah, that did happen at the end.
Yeah, and I think that just gets back to the point of, like, Logan has dug this hole for himself in terms of, like, being a bad person so far that, like, I don't think he's happy. Like, he's built this enormous company that, like, he doesn't even care about anything else but, like, keeping that afloat. Like, I don't even think that makes him happy. I just think that it's all drive at this point. Like, he's not doing it for fulfillment. He's just doing it because that's what he's been doing, and, like, that's the only thing he really has. And I think whenever you talk about, like, people with, like, great privilege or people with, like, great wealth, there's a point at which you have so much money that nothing else really matters, because you can have every material thing, but that doesn't mean that it's going to bring you fulfillment. Like, for us, people who grew up with nothing, that's one of the things that we search for because we've never had it. But once you reach a certain monetary goal, nothing really matters anymore. Like, life just loses its flavor. We're seeing that with Logan.
So you don't think anything, like, motivates him?
No, I legit don't think that he cares about anything. I think I don't even know if I can call him depressed. I just think that nothing affects him. Like, he only cares about about one kid. But, like, it's such a cold and dry love. Like, it's not, like, there's no compassion in him, I feel.
Do you think he cares about his wife?
I think so. And I think that's why I'm questioning whether or not she is just, like, a good person. I think that the fact that, just based on this first episode, if there is something that motivates him to, like, want to be a better person, it's probably his wife.
Did you know that this was already approved for season 2?
Yes, I did, actually.
That's pretty...
Which is wild.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I think I have to watch the second episode, but...
Yeah.
This didn't really feel like much of a first episode to me. This felt kind of like the third or fourth episode. And I think this is one of the good things about the show.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like they did a good job at establishing things that had already happened in this world pretty well. You understand that Kendall is in a divorce, or he's been divorced, and he has kids, and he's a drug addict. And they didn't have to directly say, like, hey, Kendall is divorced. Like, there was no exposition. It was just, like, very, like, minor details showing it. The show does a good job at, like, presenting these characters without, like, directly telling you what they're like. Like, you just get to understand that they're this way.
Okay.
One of the storylines that we haven't really talked about, which is one of your favorite storylines, was Greg.
Yeah.
Or just the beginning, at least.
Yeah, I like the beginning. Like, towards, like, the end...
He just seemed like another little asshole.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to say entitled, but he kind of was entitled. Like, oh, my grandpa's gonna fix this.
Yeah. They all have this entitlement, which is weird because when we get presented to him, he's just like this kid who works at a theme park in like a suit.
It's their amusement park, right?
Yeah. That just seemed a little out of nowhere to me because he's working as like a mascot at the theme park. And then all of a sudden his mom's like, go here and he'll help you out. I'm like, what? That's kind of out of nowhere.
Not only that, but literally right after that scene, you could have not had all of that and it wouldn't even mattered. He did nothing to affect the show going forward.
Yeah.
The episode.
Like, he didn't even really matter after.
Yeah, like literally that was like the highlight of him.
I think another, to the point of like Logan just not caring about anything.
Nah.
He didn't give a shit about this kid. He didn't give a shit about Shiv's husband giving him the watch. He didn't care about surprises. I just think that nothing matters to him anymore. Like, he's just such a, like, he's reached a point in his life where, like, you can't get him anything. Like, nothing makes him happy.
You know what? Going back to your dick measuring contest, the whole, like, oh, your grandfather's got to come to me.
Yeah. He's just like, so Greg wants to
get his job back.
Well, what is his job?
Well, he works at the amusement park. He loses his job because he was high?
Yeah. No, because he threw up.
He threw up, but they tested him, no? Isn't that why he had to fess up with the pot? Or
is that what it was? I thought they just fired him because he threw up on the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he was trying to give his mom like some bullshit story about like how he picked up a hitchhiker. But why would he want that job back? You know what I mean? Like, that's such a shitty job.
Yeah, it was a shitty job. I would never do that shit.
And like, if you want that job back, why would you go to a billionaire to get a job back as a mascot? I think there's something else. Like, I think he wants like a higher up job, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Greg goes to Logan to ask him for... He wants to run the theme park. And Logan says, alright, I'll do anything for my brother, which is Greg's grandpa, but he has to talk to me. Knowing very well that they're in a fight and they're not going to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, even at that, like, even with his own family...
Brother.
Yeah, his own brother, his own family, he still has that nature about, like, measuring dicks.
Do you think that goes back to, like, the old school ways?
Yeah, like, it's supposed to be, like, a nod to the way that businesses used to be. But I still think that, like, that is a part of corporate culture. Like, it's a very masculine-run culture, but it's also about, like, who can give me the better deal or how can I get the best out of someone. It's always, like, how am I better than someone else?
So, yeah, basically, this kid asked for just that, and then literally right after that, you could, like, forget all about him.
Yeah, because he's just, like, no one. He does nothing.
He does nothing.
Another scene that I want to talk about, which I don't know how I felt about it. It was a little strange, but... So, after the dinner, Logan says that he wants to play the game. And then they drive to these helicopters, and then the helicopters take them to this park where they start playing softball. And then there's a scene where Kieran Culkin, which is Roman, he tells this kid, because Kendall has to leave, and he tells this kid to step in, and he says that if you hit the ball, I'll give you $1 million.
Home run.
Yeah, if you hit a home run, I'll give you $1 million. And he literally goes to like his checkbook, he writes out $1 million in cash, and he's like, if you hit it, I'll give you $1 million. And then the scene proceeds to like go through, and the kid hits it, and he runs the bases, and he doesn't make it. He gets out. And then Roman tells him like, oh, you were so close, but you didn't get it. It was just such a strange scene.
And then he like rips up the check right in front of his face.
Yeah, I guess what it's supposed to tell you is the fact that like, look how little these people care about money. Look how little they care about like just giving away $1 million for like nothing.
Man, look how little they care about people.
Yeah.
Shit.
That was so, like, strange.
Did you laugh?
Did I laugh at that? Or at any of it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think this was particularly funny.
I thought it was just supposed to go to the, like, dark comedy aspect.
I didn't feel like this was even, like, a dark comedy. It was barely a drama to me. It was, like...
I chuckled a bit.
I just don't feel like this really followed, like, a TV structure. Like... I think the loose nature of the camera work made me feel like this was a mockumentary. It made me feel like they were filming, like, there was an actual film crew that was acknowledged in the by the characters, and they were being filmed for future reference. That's how weird the camera work was to me.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't think the style was very good. I didn't really dig the style. Let's get to the ratings. So I'll let you start because you seem to have dug the show. So I'm going to ask you, my friend, what are the BTs for this show? For the uninitiated, the BTs are just broken televisions, which is our point system that we give to this show, to whatever show that we're rating. So from 1 to 5, how many broken televisions?
Well, my friend, I come from a very long line of bad television enjoyment, as you know. I thought this could have easily been in a different network. I don't want to say HBO.
Yeah, this could have been like a Showtime show.
I don't want to say HBO is above this, but HBO, you're a little above this. You know? You're a little above this. I enjoyed it. I thought there was a little bits. I chuckled a bit. I wouldn't say it was a strong pilot. You know, you got your different... they weren't even like different characters.
No, they're pretty similar.
Either they were the same or some of them didn't give you anything. And then when they tried to be awkward and when they tried to be like sneaky, when they tried to be dark, when they tried to be serious, it didn't come out like right.
Yeah, I think that there are definitely like 3 characters that get the most like narrative value, which was Logan, Kendall, and Roman.
Sometimes the tones weren't like right.
Yeah, the tone was off.
Like, oh, like, am I supposed to be taking you serious here? Am I supposed to like, what's going on here? You know?
Yeah. I
thought that camera shot with Greg was probably one of the like better parts of the show.
Yeah. As
far as the shooting goes. I did notice the zooming as well. I didn't really enjoy that either.
Yeah. So final verdict.
Final verdict, I think I'd go like 2.8.
What? You enjoyed it? What the fuck?
But it's like, I can enjoy something and not think it's like amazing. You know what I mean?
Alright, let me ask you this, because I'm curious. Had we not talked about it, like what would you have given it? Because based on your first impression, you liked it.
Yeah, it was alright.
Like, had we not talked about what we thought about it or whatever, would you have given a higher score?
Nah, I don't think so. It was alright. This shit could have been on the CW. It was cool, though. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I'll probably watch it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have a long string of bad television.
Yeah, you like a lot of bad TV. So anyway, yeah, for me, I thought the premise was interesting, and I was interested in wanting to watch it because it's an HBO show, and I usually watch most of the things they put up. But there was just, like, not much to work with a lot of these characters. They're all pretty similar, and, like, their goals. As I said, the only 3... characters that I cared about was Logan, Roman, and Kendall. Yeah, and then there was just some characters that that did nothing for me. And then now that I think about it, like the Greg storyline barely makes any sense to me. And just the style of it, like the camera work, just seemed kind of disjointed. Like it seemed all over the place. I think it's because Adam McKay is not like a serious director. Like he usually does comedy, and he does comedy well. But when he tries to do like dramas, it doesn't work out the same way. Like it's kind of all over the place because there wasn't really much comedy to me in the show. Like the drama just seemed kind of odd, and I think his comedy style worked in The Big Short, or like his directing style worked in The Big Short because that's pretty like comedy adjacent, and there was like a lot of fourth wall breaks. But in this show, his directing just did not work for me. I did like the acting. I thought the acting was really good, but other than that, I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was bad. So I'm gonna go with a three broken televisions.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So for predictions, it's kind of hard because the show already got approved for second season. But just based on the first episode, where do you predict this going?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I didn't think the dad croaked like. Well, he's not dead.
He's not. He's for sure gonna be around for the whole season.
I thought they were gonna save that for the season finale, like that scene.
Yeah, right.
That scene that could have easily been saved. Yeah. For the season finale. But, I don't know. That's hard. He might die at the end of the season, maybe?
It's just honestly like corporate intrigue. Like, it's just like a melodrama. Like, where I would want it to go is like fucking Kendall like hires someone to kill his dad. That'd be interesting. But I don't think it's gonna go there. I think they're just gonna like have fights with their dad about what to do with the company and shit like that. But I don't think I don't think much is gonna happen.
Are you gonna keep watching this?
I don't know. I might catch the second episode, but I'm not that interested.
Yeah, me neither.
So you're not gonna keep watching?
I don't know. I might. Maybe I'll wait till it all comes out.
Let's introduce a new segment. It got approved for a second season, but how long should it last? Based on the first episode.
Limited series.
Right? Doesn't this feel like it should have been like 8 episodes?
Or 10 even, yeah.
And like that's it. Like it should have just been like a short little story, because HBO does well with those. Like if this would have just been like a quick story, I would be like, oh, alright. And now that I hear there's a second season, I'm like, what? Like why? I
feel like it's going to be very hard stretching this out.
Yeah.
It's going to be real hard. Like people are going to be like, okay, let's go. You know? I feel like there's going to be a lot of filler if they stretch it.
I think so too.
I'm going to go... I'll go 3.
3 seasons?
Yeah.
That's what it should be? Or that's what you're projecting that it's actually going to be?
No, that's my prediction.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I think it should have been just like a 10 episode limited series. Or like even like a 6 episode. How long I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be canceled after the second season, for sure.
Really?
Yeah. Because I don't even think many people are watching it. Like these kinds of shows, like they do well for like buzz. Like a lot of people watch them. Like not even a lot of people, but like they do well in like award seasons and shit like that. But they're not like big shows. Like not a lot of people are going to be talking about it and shit. Like I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard to find someone who watched the show. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Nah, I think like the CW crowd would eat this shit alive.
Yeah, but just by the virtue of it being on HBO, no one's going to watch this. Like they're investing a lot in marketing, but this show doesn't even look that interesting. And to be fair, like there are a lot of HBO shows that don't look great. Like Ballers was terrible. Here and Now was terrible.
Which one? Say it again.
Here and Now.
Oh, I don't think I watched that.
The one with Tim Robbins.
Oh no, I definitely didn't watch that.
Yeah, got canceled.
What did you think of Shiv's boyfriend's scene? The little altercation he had with Greg?
That was so weird, right? Like, it was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't.
I feel like he didn't pull it off well.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like, it dragged on.
Yeah, it did.
And it just wasn't funny. So, Greg is on the field and he's about to play baseball. And Shiv's husband, after trying to give Logan his birthday present, and he just doesn't respond to it. He runs into Greg and he like tells him basically like, hey, I know like you're new to the family. Like if you need anything, don't be afraid to like hesitate. Don't hesitate to ask me. But he keeps like making these like cryptic jokes and they just don't really land. Like he's like, yeah, don't be afraid to ask for anything. He's like, and anything I want from you, I want you to give it to me. Like, give me a kiss. And like, it's kind of awkward, but like, it's just not funny.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It just didn't land. I think that was supposed to be like Adam McKay's injection of humor, but you can't really do that if the actors aren't funny.
Yeah.
He just didn't have the presence for it.
I thought the when he gave the watch to Logan was pretty funny.
Yeah, he's like, if you look at this watch, it'll keep reminding you that you're rich.
But that was mostly Logan, though.
Yeah.
He helped with that, too. Like, his little face impression.
Yeah, he just doesn't give a shit. By the way, the creator of this is, like, an English person. And there's, like, a bunch of English people in this. Logan is English, and Kendall's English, too.
I figured.
Yeah, so it's, like, a bunch of English people. You know, this does feel more like an English show. Like, I guess it fits because, like, corporate culture is very rampant in America. But I just didn't give a shit about this, really. It was okay. It was, like, not bad TV. It was alright, but there's a lot better shit to watch out there, honestly. Like, watch Vida.
Yeah, like My Hero Academia.
Yeah, go watch My Hero. Go watch Vida. Megalobox was good. Pose was really good. There's just so much more to watch.
Yeah, Pose was way better than this.
I had high hopes for this show. I thought it was going to be better, but it didn't even really meet.
I never even heard about it until you told me, like, literally an hour ago.
Yeah.
Or 2 hours ago, I should say. Oh, did you notice they did the little Arthur meme?
The hand thing?
The fist?
I don't know if that's the Arthur meme.
Well, I mean, it probably it's not, but I mean, like,
yeah, I mean, I guess, ha ha ha.
Like, cause there's a scene where Kendo is being triggered by his dad, and they do a close up of him closing like his fist. I was like, oh, haha, the Arthur meme.
I don't even remember. How does that song go?
What song?
The Arthur song.
I would sing it to you, but I don't want our listeners to hear me sing it. That is way off.
Is that Doug?
Yeah, I think so.
Why are we talking about Arthur? What the fuck?
Because the Arthur meme.
That did not happen. That's what? I mean, it happened, but like, I don't think Adam McKay was like, wow, I need to dig into this millennial audience right here by putting in this Arthur meme.
That's exactly how it went down.
Like, I think it was just a clenched fist. No, it did not go down like that.
Arthur meme.
The show was whatevs, honestly.
I'm surprised you gave it a 3.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it's not Jersey Shore. That's amazing.
Hey, Ron juice.
Anyway, let's wrap it up. All right.
Wait.
That was what?
Shiv was trash.
Anyway, well, this was 14?
I don't even know. This was 13.5.
We'll see you at 15. We'll see you at 15. Well, yeah. We'll see you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, bye. We'll see you next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Passengers, we have landed. Peace.